So hey, you just got engaged, you're excited about your wedding, and you're getting ready to hire a videographer, and you're just not sure who to go with. Well, that's what this video is all about. We're gonna go over some things to look for when hiring a videographer. So stay tuned, coming up next. Okay, so most people hire a videographer to remember what their special day was like. I can't tell you how many people, including myself, when you look back at your wedding, you can't remember anything that happened of the day. So this allows you to be able to remember what it was like, remember some of the thoughts that you had, some of the feelings that you had towards your spouse. But too often it makes it very hard to hire somebody because you don't know really where to start or where to begin. And there's a few key things that I think you should be very aware of that a lot of times people don't think about. Often it just gets narrowed down to price, and when you're just looking at price, you're not really going to be sure what you're going to get. Before we get into some of those details of things to look for when hiring a videographer, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Jason Dames with Radiance Videography. Now, we believe that there's 3 core areas that you need to look for when hiring a videographer, and that is their overall professionalism, the gear that they use, as well as the pricing. I put the pricing on the end because although it's very important, oftentimes you get what you paid for. So let's just start with professionalism. We think it's very important how a company presents themselves. Are they good with people? Do they care about you? Do they take time to listen to what you have to say? Do they spend a little bit of time beforehand prepping so that they can get an understanding of what your story is, what your background is, so that they can communicate that into the story? Oftentimes I know what we do is we sit down with them and we try to understand how they met, what was the intricacies of their story, so that way we can tell it inside the video. Another part of how they present themselves is how they dress. Now, this isn't the end-all be-all, but oftentimes you've heard of stories of videographers showing up and they look like they just came out of the bar and their hair is all a mess, or they look like a troll. And not that that's the most important thing, but oftentimes the ways people take care of themselves is how they take pride in their overall life in general. So we think it's important to dress in such a way that communicates that you take pride in what you do, and as well as you're serious about your craft. Another part of professionalism is your ability to communicate with your clients effectively, as well as coordinate people throughout the entire day. If you're a person that's not able to get along with people very well, or you're not very outgoing, and you're just kind of dull and mundane, and you're not good at directing people, it's going to make for a very stressful day for you as a client. There's so many things that you already have to worry about throughout the entire day. You don't want to have to add any more stress by worrying about whether your videographer is going to be able to communicate to you effectively or do his job professionally. The second thing that you need to think about is what type of gear do they use? Do they bring in professional gear and lighting to ensure that your video is professional and it doesn't come out amateur? You see, 80 to 90% of your viewing experience is your lighting and your sound. And if you don't get those 2 things right, it's going to come out looking very amateur. Oftentimes when the bride and groom are getting ready, or at the reception, we're dealing with very poor lighting. So it's very important for the company that you're hiring to bring in professional lighting to be able to prevent from dark shadows in places that are not very aesthetically pleasing and just poor color throughout the room. And most importantly, it ensures that they're able to control the overall dynamics of your film. I also stated that audio was very important, so maybe a good question to ask your videographer is what type of audio gear do they bring along with their lighting, or do they bring any at all? Do they mic up the bride and the officiant so that they're able to capture the audio of everybody that's involved? See, the problem is a lot of times when you hire a videographer, what they do is they just put a montage of clips together with some music in the background, and you really don't have any dialogue of anything that's going on throughout the day. And so you're not able to get the full experience of things that you said and things that you were thinking and things that are important to you throughout the entirety of the day.
don't ever go to bed angry and always say I love you.
Okay.
Now, one of the questions that you might want to slip in there as well is, what's the overall experience of the videographer that's going to be filming throughout the day? Their skill level is going to be very important to be able to create shots that are aesthetically pleasing, and their ability to coordinate and choreograph shots that'll make your video not just a video, but a film. And last but not least, let's talk about the dreaded pricing. Here's what I would encourage, is that you don't just look for the most expensive, but you also definitely don't go with the cheapest. Oftentimes you're gonna get what you paid for, and when you're paying somewhere around the $1,500 to $2,000 range, you might as well just get somebody to grab their iPhone and capture some shots throughout the day, because it's gonna end up just about like that. You're gonna get a montage of clips with some music in the background and very poor exposure, poor lighting, poor quality of sound, ultimately leading to a very poor experience. And we don't want that to happen to you. So here's what I suggest, is that you ask a lot of these questions, look at it from a bigger picture and what they're bringing to the table. Obviously, someone that's gonna take more pride and professionalism in what they do, they're gonna bring in audio and lighting. They're also gonna have second shooters and drone footage. And one of the things that you might have to realize when you're hiring a videography is it takes time to develop your craft, and that's part of what you're paying for, is the professionalism and their ability to be able to create a film that's not just a video, but they put a lot of effort into it, and at the end of the day, they're gonna create something that you're gonna be proud of and that you're not gonna regret or you wasted your money. That's the worst feeling in the world, and you definitely don't wanna do that. So to sum everything up, I think it's important to take a bigger, broader, bird's eye view of the overall picture of what you're paying for and what's going into your overall video. And then you can, at the end, take a look at the price and then see what's reasonable or fair. I get that videography is often last on the list, and so you're dealing with a very small budget and you're like, man, I would like to have videography, but sometimes it's just a luxury. But I will tell you this, it's one of the things that people most regret not having. And you don't want to get a video that is junk and you feel like you wasted your money, but you also want to make sure that you have it, because like I said, the day goes by in such a flash, you want to be able to remember it. Heck, I got married 17 years ago and it was from a VHS tape, and I still get it out and I watch it with the kids, and it's something that you can look back and really remember and enjoy. So hopefully this information helped you guys out, gave you some information to be able to make a good educated decision. So if you like this video, go ahead and feel free to like and subscribe to our channel for more information like this. I hope you guys have a great day, and God bless.